Hello, 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 beautiful people. It says I'm live, but I don't see it. There we go. Now we're live. How are y'all doing this evening? Beautiful Monday. It was a little warm here in Texas today, and of course, our AC decides to take a break. So it is wonderfully humid in here. But you know what? What's right about this? I'm not getting. What's right about me? I'm not seeing. What's really cool is that it's actually raining, and it will be, even though it was one of the warmest day we've had in a long time because it felt like it was in the 90s, it's actually raining right now, and so the temperature will drop. So we will be able to sleep comfortably tonight. How miraculous is that? Huh? So, everybody, welcome to day 29 of my 30-day challenge. Today's topic is being sacred space. And I must say, like I put in my description, this is one of my favorite things to be, I would say. And so today I'm going to kind of explain what is sacred space, what is to be sacred space. I've been talking about the different aspects of the self and how it's important for all of us to take a really good look in our own mirrors and do what we call that shadow work, finding those little deep, dark crevices of ourselves that are part of who we are. We cannot separate ourselves from that. When we try, we end up creating neuroses and all kinds of fun little fears that then take over our lives and don't allow us to be our free, full selves. So, in order to be sacred space, it's important to do that shadow work so that once you release all those pieces of yourself that feel that are living in you as judgments, then you can go ahead and look at others without those judgments because you have released them in yourself. So, for example, if you have an issue with body image, which I did for many years, I had a tough time with myself. Obviously, we're the worst critics, right? We're the worst critics with ourselves. But what's interesting is that I became very judgmental of other people's bodies. So how could I be sacred space for someone else that is having body issues when I am in judgment of my own body? I'm not skinny enough, not pretty enough. I have all kinds of, fluff and squish, etc. Fabulous stretch marks, thanks to the children, which, by the way, I wear as a badge now. It's very different, right? Because I've done the work on this. And when it comes up, because I've done the work on this, I'm able to release that and come back to myself and remember that my body is really a beautiful piece of work. It's all human bodies are amazing, miraculous machines that house, or really, I believe that our soul is actually much bigger than our bodies, but they house us here in this physical realm so that we can have this beautiful experience that is to be a human embodied. As soon as I was able to release those judgments towards myself, I was finally comfortable in my own skin. Of course, it takes me to be 39, almost 40 to get to that point, but that's besides the point. It's never too late and it's never too early. It's divine timing. So, in order to be able to, again, be sacred space, we have to at least be in the awareness that we're trying to release all of these judgments that we have on ourselves and on others. And what is it to be sacred space? Is really to be able to be there for someone in complete peace, acceptance of the other person. My husband and I, we're doing a class right now called The Integral Life. It's through Mind Valley, and Ken Wilber, my grandfather, used to talk about him all the time. And he wrote about the map of consciousness, I believe is the name of the book. I have to look up the title, but it's in my to-do list to read that book. He was 23 when he wrote it. Hello, Christina. Good to see you, love. He was 23 when he wrote it. and it caused quite the stir. And that's where we get all this idea of integra- um, integrative medicine, integrative. I think I'm mispronouncing that, but basically the idea that it's a holistic approach to medicine, where it's not just looking at the symptoms and attacking the symptoms of the disease. It's really looking for the causes, the whole human being, body, soul, mind, spirit. So he has this class, and he's basically explaining what does integral mean, and what is the idea of integrating everything. And but I really love this idea that he says we have three different persons. We have the I, and then we have the you, second person. So I, first person, you, second person. And then in this space where we meet together, we have the first person plural, where it's you and I together. And then, of course, there's a third person. He talks about it. I'm not going to go into that detail. What I am going to go into is what my husband drew out, and I really love it. So I drew it for you guys today. And I, the first person, and you, right? And so notice he added these fantastic arrows to see that in some cases, we bypass the we sacred space where we actually listen to each other. And instead, we talk at each other. And we're not receiving anything that the other person is saying. Don't worry, I've been there too. And I can be there sometimes. This is not a judgment thing. This is what can happen. But this space right here in the middle, that we space, is what is a very miraculous space to be in. Because in that space of we're both in there, you and I. We're having a conversation of listening to each other, trying to comprehend each other's point of view of what we understand is whatever subject at hand, whatever we're discussing at hand. And we can actually go in and out of this with the same person as well, right? Sometimes we're having an argument, and then at the end, we go back into that we space after we yelled at each other to then, I'm sorry, we try to figure it out. But what if we could all go into that little bubble of we every time we experience a conversation with someone? What if we can go into that we space and be sacred space for them as they are sacred space for us, and really be seen? Because that's probably one of those things where when it's really interesting. So we went to a party for a friend of ours who turned 40. It was a small shindig. But it was wonderful because we hadn't seen each other. A lot of people, judge away vaccination, no vaccination. It was wonderful. We were all safe and we're good. But I will say this, we need community. And that whole party felt like a gigantic we space. It was just a bunch of gratitude for each other. Almost like a sigh of relief, just to remember that we can be that sacred space for each other, that we can be together, even if we don't agree on everything that's happening right now. Because everybody at that party had a point of view about everything that's happening, political, social, religion, everything. But we bypassed all of that, and we met ourselves together in that space of we. And to be sacred space, we tend to do that with the people we love that bring us joy happily, like, oh my gosh, yeah, my best friend, I'll totally be sacred space for her. She lights me up. And I know I do the same for her. So for us, it's just like, yay, how have you been? Even when we're having a sad moment, even when it's been a grieving moment. To be sacred space for someone that we don't necessarily enjoy their company, and try to stand in their shoes, and maybe you step into the we moment, and maybe they don't want to maybe I can, because I try to do that. I'll try to step in here and invite the person to come and meet me in here. And sometimes they can't do that. They have to bypass, and they talk at me, and that's okay. I'm still going to stay in here as much as I can. And then if it's a waste of energy, and I know that I need my boundary back, then I can just go and step back into myself and let them be who they are. I don't have to change anybody. I don't have to expect anything from anybody. And that is an exercise in patience, in empowerment, in knowing yourself. Um, but it's also a very healing place to be for others. Because if I can be sacred space for someone else while they vent through some things, even though they might be triggering me with X, Y, or Z, one, it can expand my own point of view. What if they're right about, and again, right, truth, whatever, about something that I didn't know about, and I needed to open my mind to whatever they were saying. And I've done that many times, because that's another thing. You don't have to choose sides. You can open up your mind. There is truth in everything. So that's why we have to be careful to pick one side only. And in being sacred space for someone, I can receive that information. I can receive a different point of view that might help me grow, because I am also on the path of growth. I am still in the mind of a beginner, and I always want to be there, because then that means I have space for more stuff to come in and elevate me and bring that beautiful energy that I've always wanted to be, that I have always wanted to be, that I was always already. That kind of blows the mind a bit. Because we all of us are this that I speak of all the time. I love it. In the Catholic tradition, they say, we're all saints in the making. That's a beautiful way of seeing it. Because we are already there. We just have to kind of uncover our eyes and our hearts, because there's a bunch of walls. A lot of people just, in our development as children, we go through quite a bit of stuff. Even in the beautiful homes, it's development. You get disillusioned with people, you get disappointed, you get angry, and then you hold on to these little things as a kid because, nobody gave you the tools on how to release that when you were a child, and how to forgive. Now it feels like more and more of us are going down this path of helping our children deal with it now, and to speak their minds, and to let us know what we can do to help them. They're still in development, they're still going to have their issues, and they're still going to have their trials and tribulations, and I'm still going to let them learn, but I will also be there as guide to teach them how to be sacred space now, so they don't have to wait till much later. And again, and that's my offering to them, doesn't mean that they're going to take it either, and that's okay. They're not my children, right? They're not mine. They're just put in my guidance for a while, because they're just souls that came in, and to have their experience, I get to just guide them so that they can have the rest of their adult life. Because that's something interesting that my husband said the other day, is so true. The childhood development itself is so short, and it's so important, from the ages of 1 or 0 to 18, and even to 25. I mean, the brain continues to develop at that point. There needs to be a lot of nurturing in that time. So I'm going to try my best in that regard, and see what happens, and see what they'll take. But I know that they will have to live a life of their own. So I'm hoping that me being sacred space for them, as best as I can, will allow them to be sacred space for themselves and for others. So I hope that explains what sacred space and being sacred space really is. Just being yourself. Being yourself. That's it. Being yourself without any judgment of yourself. Loving yourself more. Having more compassion. More forgiveness of yourself. So that you can do that for others. So thank you, Christina. I love the butterfly. All right, beautiful people. That's it for day 29. Tomorrow is my last day. What? I'm kind of excited. We'll see what happens. Oh, and before I let you go, I am doing a 21-day challenge with a friend of mine. Actually, we're a group of fantastic women. These are all different colors, background sizes, everything. We call ourselves Soulful Awakenings Era, embodying radical authenticity. You can check us out. I have to put the website I'll put it in the comments section so you guys can check it out. But we're doing the 21-day challenge, where we text you 5 different quotes from this fantastic book and using thank you, Christina. I love you too. And so for the challenge, you will have me and my partner. Her name is Donna Hildebrand, and we together, along with our other partners, Laura, Jana, and Kim, we're gonna have 4 different phone calls, Zoom calls, once a week for the month of May, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. We're also going to do the text messages every day. And we're going to have a web page on our own Facebook group where we'll be able to hash out some of the stuff using this one very awesome tool called Interesting Point of View. It shifted a lot of stuff for me, and that's why I'm like, yes, let's do it. Whoever's ready to, because there's nothing like practicing and to have the support that I had doing this challenge with my friend and being able to have the support of others of this kind of energy. It's so powerful. It's life-changing, life-altering. So it is $49 for the whole 21 days, but we're basically going to be holding you by the hand. You can ask us questions, feel free to reach out through our messages that we will have. For that, if you want to join us through there, let me know, DM or personal message me that you're interested, and I'll send you the link over, okay? Or just go to the website and you can access that as well on our website. So I'll put it on the description box. All right, sweet people. Thanks again, Christina, for watching and being so sweet and commenting. Love y'all. Have a lovely, lovely evening, and I will catch you tomorrow. God bless. Sending loads of love and light. Bye-bye.